The moment you start explaining yourself, something shifts. Not in your logic, not in your reasoning, but in how people see you. You believe you are being clear. What they sense instead is hesitation, and hesitation always changes the balance. Most people explain themselves automatically, not because they have to, but because silence feels dangerous. Silence feels like losing control. When you don't speak, you no longer manage how others interpret your actions. So people rush to fill the space. They add context, they justify motives, they soften decisions, not realizing that every added sentence makes their position smaller. Explanation feels responsible, reasonable, mature. But psychologically, it is often a response to discomfort. A discomfort with being misunderstood, a discomfort with being judged, a discomfort with standing alone in a decision. And the urge to explain grows exactly where inner certainty is weakest. People rarely explain themselves out of strength. They explain themselves to find relief. Relief from tension, relief from uncertainty, relief from the fear of disagreement. So explanation becomes a reflex, and reflexes are never authority. In social dynamics, respect is not built on logic. It is built on emotional signals, signals of stability, signals of self-trust, signals of non-neediness. When you explain without being asked, you send a subtle signal, not through words but through posture. You signal that your decision needs support, that your boundary is flexible, that your stance is negotiable. And once something becomes negotiable, it stops being respected. This is why over-explaining backfires. You think you are preventing misunderstanding. What you are actually doing is inviting evaluation. You place yourself in the role of the one being assessed. And the moment you do that, the dynamic shifts. You are no longer standing. You are defending. Even if your explanation is calm, even if it is logical, even if it is true, truth does not protect authority. Certainty does. You can be right and still lose respect. Because authority is not granted by correctness, it is granted by alignment. Stoicism understood this long before modern psychology. The Stoics were not silent to appear mysterious. They were silent because they were grounded. They did not feel responsible for managing how others interpreted them. Marcus Aurelius did not explain his discipline. He lived it. Epictetus did not justify his philosophy. He embodied it. Their clarity was internal, and because it was internal, it required no defense. Modern culture confuses silence with weakness because it equates expression with value. But grounded silence is not emptiness. It is containment. It means you are not leaking energy into unnecessary explanation. There is a critical difference most people never learn. The difference between clarity and justification. Clarity is calm. Justification is reactive. Clarity does not rush to correct misunderstanding. Justification cannot tolerate it. When you feel the urge to explain, pause. Ask yourself one question. Am I clarifying, or am I trying to be accepted? Because when someone truly needs understanding, they will ask. When they don't, your explanation weakens your position, not because silence is superior, but because silence implies self-trust. Silence allows others to sit with their assumptions. Explanation rescues them from discomfort. And every time you rescue someone from discomfort, you lower your position slightly. This does not mean never speaking. It means speaking deliberately, from necessity, not from anxiety. It means letting your actions speak first and your words only when they add something essential. Silence is not avoidance. It is confidence without performance. People do not respect explanations. They respect consistency, and consistency does not argue.